Welcome back, everyone. In this lesson, we're going to study Treasure Island in Chapter 8. But before we move to Chapter 8, let me jog your memory. خليني كده أفكركم. Jog your memory of Chapter 7. إيه اللي حصل في Chapter 7؟ مازن هيقول لنا. ابدأ كده مازن. Jim Hawkins. This is the main character.
Jim Hawkins meets Ben Gunn, who leads him close to the fort but refuses to enter, saying he doesn't trust people, and asks Jim to find him at the next day. As Jim hides from the gunfire, he sees the Hispaniola flying a pirate flag. Later, Jim sneaks into the fort, where Dr. Livesey lets him in. Jim tells his story, and Captain Smollett assigns everyone tasks to keep morale high.
Good job, Jim Hawkins. This is our protagonist. أهم شخصية عندنا. Abel Ben Gunn. مين هو Ben Gunn? The guy who has been left on the island. وبعد كده who leads him close to the fort. الفورت اللي استولى أو كان فيها معسكر الخير كابتن سمالت دكتور ليفزي but refuses to enter. ده دليل بيفهمك إن هو he lost trust and he had no confidence. ما كانش بيثق في حد خالص. Saying that he does not trust people and asks Jim to find him the next day. قال له تعالى بكرة دور علي. As Jim hides from gunfire, he sees the Hispaniola flying a pirate bag. ده معناه إيه؟ معناه يا ريماس إن السفينة was seized by the bad guys. Later, Jim sneaks into the fort. دخل واحدة واحدة where Dr. Livesey lets him in. طبعا معسكر الخير هو اللي كان مسيطر على الفورت ومعسكر الشر كان مسيطر على السفينة. Jim tells his story and Captain Smollett assigns everyone tasks to keep morale high. خلى كل واحد ينشغل. جيم يعمل كذا وانت مسؤول عن كذا and so on. The next morning, Long Silver طبعا رئيس أو قائد معسكر الشر. Long Silver approaches the fort under a white flag to negotiate. الجاي إيه؟ يتفاوض معهم. He offers to exchange peace. عرض عليهم peace and safe return from the treasure for the treasure map. هديكم حاجتين وتدوني حاجة. هديكم peace, safe return تعود ترجعوا بالسلامة في مقابل تدوني treasure map. طبعا promising either passage back or supplies if they refuse. Captain Smollett firmly declines. رفض تماما النيجوشيشن دي threatening to arrest the pirates if they surrender, okay, or to defend the fort if they attacked it. Silver leaves angrily. ضايق جدا من كابتن سموليت warning of an impending battle. أعلن الحرب بينهم وبعض. Inside the fort جوه القلعة بتاعتنا أو الحصن اللي كانوا يعني موجودين فيه the group discusses Ben Gunn. حكى لهم عن Ben Gunn with doctor assigning, okay, the doctor suggesting he's simply mad from isolation. Okay. الراجل ده طبعا دكتور ليفزي قال لهم أكيد بن جان ده he got mad بقى مجنون بسبب isolation. They decide to give him some cheese as a gesture. وده دليل على كرمهم بعتوا له حبة جبنة كده. Okay. عشان يطمنوا. That night they rest, hoping the pirates will abandon the island. In the morning, Silver returns again. رجع لهم مرة تاني with a white flag, requesting a truce. عايز إيه بقى؟ عايز truce. يعني truce يعني هدنة. But Captain Smollett remains cautious, suspecting a trick. حس إن في فخ أو هو بيعمل لهم حاجة معينة. وفعلا he reckoned very well. التخمين بتاعه كان صح جدا جدا جدا. تعال ننتقل لتشابتر 8. اوكي. مين اللي بيحكي لنا؟ مين الناريتور؟ هنا جيم هوكنز. جيم هوكنز بيحكي لنا chapter 8. يلا يا مازن try to stop after each paragraph. We prepared.
We prepared our weapons and the captain told us what to do.
Good job. طبعا هم كانوا عارفين ان لا او long silver ده ما يتأمنش. They prepared their weapons and the captain told them what to do. Doctor?
Doctor, you stay by the door. Hunter, stay at the east of the fort. Joyce can stand at the west. Gray and Trelawney will stay at the north. If the pirates get inside the north of the fort, we are in trouble.
Good job.
After an hour,
Okay, so doctor, he was assigned for the door. مسؤول عن الباب. Hunter, the east of the fort. الناحية الشرقية. Joyce, west. Gray and Trelawney will stay at the north. If the pirates get inside the north of the fort, we're in trouble. هتبقى في مشكلة كبيرة جدا جدا جدا. Let's go.
after an hour, Joyce said that he saw someone coming. We all looked and listened, and we got our weapons ready. Suddenly, Joyce fired his gun. Then we heard guns firing at us from all the sides of the fort. There was a lot of noise and smoke, but nobody was hurt. Then everything went quiet again.
Perfect. يبقى هم they did their guesses were very good. تخميناتهم كانت فعلا في محلها. اوكي. اول حد لاحظ ان في حد بيتحرك كان جويس، وانت عارف ان جويس كان موجود ناحية الوست. He saw someone coming. We all looked and listened. We got our weapons ready. Suddenly, Joyce fired his gun. طبعا. Then we heard guns firing at us from all sides of the fort. ده معناه يا مريم ان الاتاك او الهجوم كان من كل مكان. There was a lot of noise and smoke, but nobody was hurt. Then everything went quiet again.
Did you hit anyone? The captain asked Joyce. I don't think so, he replied. How many people fired on your side, Doctor? Asked Captain Smollett. There were 3, he replied. How many on your side, Trelawney? Trelawney and Gray were not sure. They thought 7 or 8 or even 9. There was only one shot fired from the east and west. So we knew that the pirates wanted to attack mostly from the north, but Captain Smollett told us to stay where we were.
طيب, why do you think that Captain Smollett think that they wanted to attack from the north? تعال نحسب كده. How many people were shooting from the north من ناحية الشمال؟ انت عارف النورث كان موجود Trelawney and Gray. Okay? 7, 8, 9. يعني the biggest number of shots came from the north. جايين من ناحية النورث. معناه هنا إن biggest number of men were in the north side of the fort. عشان كده عارفين إن هما they were attacking from the north. وعلى فكرة لو واخد بالك إن الدكتور كان 1 موجود على الدور. 1 موجود ناحية الإيست. 1 ناحية الوست. 2 كانوا موجودين ناحية النورث. عشان هو كان he was expecting that they would attack from the north. We did not have
much time to talk. A group of pirates ran from the trees towards the north of the fort, and their guns started firing again.
Yeah, so here they started attacking the fort from the north. They heard people coming towards the north of the fort.
Some of the pirates tried to climb the fence, but Joyce shot 2 of them, and 1 ran back to the trees. However, four were now inside the fence, and 7 more continued to fire at us from the trees.
Perfect. Joyce was able to shoot 2 of them. 1 ran back to the trees. استخبوا طبعا في الشجر. However, 4 were now inside the fences. وده خطر كبير جدا. 4 people were able to climb and get inside the fort. يعني ناحية السور كده. 7 more continued to fire at us from the trees. Our men
fired at the 4 pirates, but did not hit them. They were now running up the hill to the fort, and one of them climbed up and took Hunter's gun. Another ran in through the door, where the doctor killed him.
Yeah, the doctor killed him. The guy who came through the door اللي جا من ناحية الباب he was killed. وكان في واحد climbed up and took Hunter's gun. He could يعني he could take Hunter's gun. أخذ من Hunter الجن بتاعته. Captain Smollett then told us
to go to the other side of the fort. I ran there quickly and suddenly found one of the pirates, Anderson, in front of me. He was going to attack me with his sword, but Gray saw me and killed him before I was hurt. At the same time, the pirates inside the fences were killed by our
by
guns.
our guns. Anderson ده واحد من الباد guys من البايرتس. He wanted to attack, okay, Jim Hawken. لكن with the help of Gray, Gray actually could help and could save Jim Hawkins. Gray attacked him and killed him. Okay. Anderson يبقى كده عندنا Anderson مات. وفي واحد هنا برضو some of the pirates. Okay. Joyce shot 2. يبقى كده 3 pirates are dead now. Gray saw him and killed him. Anderson ده برضو انتهى before I was hurt. At the same time, the pirates inside the fences were killed. كان في 4. 4 inside the fences. يبقى كده تقريبا 4 7 وهنا في 2. يبقى كده 9 pirates were killed. I was safe, but
I was
others were
safe, but
not.
others were not. Poor Joyce and Hunter were dead, and Captain Smollett was hurt.
Yeah. يبقى هنا ده في الفورد they lost 2 people. Joyce, Hunter were killed. Captain Smollett was hurt. اتصاب.
Have the pirates gone? Asked Captain Smollett weakly. Some of them have gone, said Dr. Livesey, but 5 of them will never walk again.
Yeah, 5 of them will never walk again. معنى إن هو he thought that 5 of them were killed.
That's good, said Captain Smollett. There are fewer pirates for us to fight. I know that we can win.
Yeah, يعني at least 5 of them will never walk again. يعني في إصابات وفي 5 مش هيمشوا تاني. يعني خلاص ماتوا. That's a good thing. The pirates did not return that day.
So we had time to eat and look after the people who were hurt. Dr. Livesey said that Captain Smollett would get better, but he should not work or even talk if he didn't need to.
Yeah, he must have a rest. In the
In
early
the early
afternoon.
afternoon, Dr. Livesey took his hat and a gun. Then he put the map in his pocket and left the
Oh
fort.
my gosh, where do you think he was going? Dr. Livesey took his hat and a gun. He put the map in his pocket and left the fort. خرج من الفort. What is he doing? Asked Gray. When he saw him,
When we saw him into the trees, is he crazy?
is he crazy? ده رايح فين ده? The doctor has,
A plan. I said, I think he is going to visit Ben Gunn.
yeah, Ben Gunn. Ben Gunn, the guy who was left on the island that afternoon.
That afternoon, I thought about where the doctor was. I remembered how good it felt to walk through the trees and on the beach. It was much nicer than staying inside the hot fort. I decided to take some biscuits and a gun, and I wanted to go down the rocks where Ben Gunn said there was a boat when nobody was looking. When nobody was looking, I quietly left the fort.
And by the way, when Jim actually decided to go for a walk, he didn't know that he would start a new adventure. هيبدأ بقى adventure تانية صعبة خالص. هقول الحتة دي تاني. That afternoon, I thought about where the doctor was. I remember how good it felt to walk through the trees. يروح يتمشى شوية on the beach. It was much nicer than staying inside the hot fort. I decided to take some biscuits and a gun with me. زي ما عمل Dr. Livesey. I wanted to go down to the rocks where Ben Gunn said there was a boat. When nobody was looking, I quietly left the fort. راح يتمشى شوي. I
walked quickly towards the east of the island. It was now late afternoon, but the sun was still high. As I went nearer to the coast, the wind became stronger, and it wasn't as hot. Soon I could see the big waves of the blue sea, and then I walked down the beach feeling happy.
feeling very happy. At the end of the beach, I climbed a hill.
I could see the Hispaniola with the pirate flag flying in the wind, and I could see Silver in one of the small boats talking to his men. I could not hear what they said, although I could hear the cry of the parrot of Captain Flint.
Yeah, Captain Flint. So at the end of the beach, I climbed a hill. صعد كده على تبة. I could see the Hispaniola. الهسبانيولا زي ما انت عارف it was seized by the pirates. عشان كده كان عليها علم البلاك flag بتاع البايرتس. And I could see Silver, okay, in one of the small boats talking to his men. I could not hear طبعا في مسافة كبيرة جدا, so I could hear the cry of the parrot Captain Flint. كان في parrot معاهم. The sun was going down.
The sun was going down, and soon there was a mist. I knew that I needed to be quick and find the boat that evening. It took me a long time to walk to the white rock where Bengon said his boat was. It was nearly dark. When I finally found it inside a tent made of animal skins. It was badly made of old wood, and it was very small. Although I thought it would be very fast on
Fast
water.
on water. So the sun was going down, and soon there was a mist. طبعا في ضباب. I know that I needed to be quick and find a boat that evening. It took me a long time to walk on the white rock where Bengon said his boat was. بيحاول يدور على المركب ده. It was nearly dark when I finally found it inside a tent. لقاه كده في خيمة made of animal skins. طبعا انت عارف البوت ده كان بياخده Bengon to go around the island. I finally found it. It was badly made from old wood. It was very small, although I thought it would be very fast on water. عشان حجمه صغير فهو هيمشي شوية بسرعة يعني. Now I had my own plan. ايه بقى ناوي يعمل ايه؟ كمل
I
يا
thought
مازن.
that I could go to the Hispaniola in the night and cut the rope to the anchor. So I ate my biscuits while I waited for it to become
he,
dawn.
he decided to take an adventure. قرر ان هو يروح and cut off the rope to the anchor. طبعا انت عارف السفينة بتبقى لما بيحبوا يخلوها تقف مكانها they connect it to an anchor. ثقل كده بيتحط. لو الانكر ده is pulled up أو السفينة مش موجود فيها الانكر it would move and would be taken away. عشان كده he had an idea. It was a very courageous, it was very يعني really brave of him to go and cut off the rope. بس للأسف it didn't work this way. إيه اللي هيحصل؟ Read Mazen. When I stood up later,
When I stood up later, there was mist everywhere. I picked up the boat and carried it into the beach. In the darkness, I could just see a fire where the pirates were sleeping in, the trees, and another distant light from the Hispaniola. I put the small pot into the water and began my journey to the ship.
so I need to remind you again. Why did he decide to go to the Hispaniola? To cut the rope to the anchor. The ship.
The ship, as I was leaving, I saw a light in one of the windows where the sailors were talking. I don't know why, but I decided to look into the window. I saw that Hans and the other pirates were fighting each other.
Yeah, we're fighting with each other. طبعا دي أخلاق البايرتس. كان هانس one of the pirates موجود معاهم. هو في ويندو كده في شباك صغير قدر يشوف منه إن هو هانس and other pirates were fighting. خناقة كبيرة جدا بينهم وبين بعض. I sat down in the boat.
I sat down in the boat but I realized that the wind was taking me quickly out to the sea. Now it no longer had the anchor rope. The wind was moving the Hispaniola. The wind was moving the Hispaniola too. The wind took my boat into large waves. I closed my eyes and waited for a terrible end, dreaming of my home and the Admiral Bimbo.
The Admiral Bimbo, this is the inn. This is the small hotel that he was running with his father. Okay, طبعا here he faces great danger. في خطر كبير جدا جدا جدا. إن هو الهسبانيولا started to move and his small boat was pushed into the sea. The next thing I knew, it was light.
The next thing I knew, it was light, and I found myself in the boat on the southwest end of the treasure island. Then, uh,
The sun was up.
then the sun was up, but I couldn't see it. But I couldn't see it because of the high cliffs on this side of the island. There were big waves hitting the rocks below, and it would be impossible for me to take the boat to the shore.
طبعا it was impossible for him to go back to the shore again. طب ايه الحل؟ هيعمل ايه؟ هو موجود in a very small, poor and weak boat. boat ضعيف جدا موجود in the water. So I remember that on the map there was a
There was a
place.
place called Cape of Woods. This was a place of tall trees, and it also had a beach. I would try to get there. The boat sailed the boat the boat sailed well, but when I tried to steer it, the boat hit the waves and was soon completely wet. I realized, however, that if I lay down in the boat, it found its way through the waves on its own. I used a paddle to steer the boat a little, and it moved very slowly towards the Cape of Woods.
So in this paragraph, he wanted to tell you that he was moving toward the Cape of Woods. اوكي كيب يعني رأس. اوكي يعني حتة كده بتبقى طالعة في المية يعني بتبقى زيادة شوية في الايلاند. قرر ان هو to go to this place, okay, using his small boat. That's it for chapter 8. طيب تعالى كده نفكر مع بعض بسرعة ايه اللي حصل في chapter 8. chapter 8 اول حاجة، ها، عمل ايه دكتور كابتن سمالت؟ كابتن، يلا ساعدوني كابتن سمالت. انت
here.
تروح assigned each one a task. زي مثلا Dr. Livesey was responsible for the door. Number 2, what happened then? The pirates, عملوا ايه pirates? Attacked the fort from the north. الهجوم كان من النورث أكتر حاجة. Okay. Some, at least, how many pirates were killed? 5 pirates were killed, and 2, okay, from the other side. أنا أقصد السايد بتاع كابتن سمولت. بعد كده Jem decided to go for a walk and find Ben Gunn's boat. Ben Gunn's boat. Okay. Jem had an idea to take the small boat and cut the rope of and take the boat to Hispaniola, the Hispaniola, and cut the rope of the anchor, or the rope to the anchor. يفصل البوت to the anchor. Okay. Jem couldn't go back again because of the rocks, so he decided to go to the Cape of Wood. هيروح للجزيرة من ناحية the Cape of Wood. طبعا هناك هيلاقي حاجات مهمة جدا، ده اللي هنعرفه إن شاء الله في chapter 8. So this is a quick summary for chapter 8. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you.